Ethan Ward walked slowly through the thick blue fog. His boots pressed into the soft ground of the alien planet, making no sound at all. Silence. Complete silence. No wind, no birds, no life. He had crashed here only 1 hour ago, but the place already felt wrong. Too quiet, too empty, as if the entire world was holding its breath. Ethan touched the side of his broken helmet and sighed. Great, just great, he whispered. No signal, no rescue, no idea where he was. He took a few more steps, and then he felt it. Someone was watching him. He froze, eyes scanning the fog. Nothing, just shapes moving inside the mist. But maybe those shapes were only his imagination. Or maybe not. He tightened his grip on the small emergency flashlight and kept walking. Every second, it felt like something was behind him. But whenever he turned, he saw nothing. Then, a soft sound, a whisper, a cry. Ethan followed the sound, pushing through the fog until he reached a fallen tree covered in strange glowing fungus. Behind it, someone was lying on the ground. A woman, but not a human woman. Her skin was silver, smooth like metal but warm like flesh. Her hair looked like long strands of light. Her glowing purple eyes flickered weakly as she tried to lift her head. Ethan stepped closer. Hey, it's okay. I won't hurt you. Can you hear me? The alien woman whispered something, but her voice was so soft he couldn't understand. She tried again, but then her body shook in fear. She stayed into the fog behind Ethan, as if something terrible was coming. Ethan followed her gaze, but he saw nothing. Still, a cold feeling crawled up his spine. He knelt beside her. You're hurt. I can help you walk. Come on. But the alien woman grabbed his arm with surprising strength. Her fingers trembled. Her breath was quick and scared. And then she said the words. The strange, shocking words that made Ethan freeze in place. Will you mate with my daughter? Ethan blinked. What? What did you just? The alien woman's voice cracked as she tried again. Please, you must mate with my daughter. Her eyes filled with tears, real tears, shining and warm. She wasn't threatening him. She wasn't angry. She looked desperate, completely helpless. Ethan felt his heart race. Okay, slow down. Why are you saying this? What's happening? Who is your daughter? Why do you need? But before he could finish, the ground shook. A deep, monstrous growl rolled through the fog. Low, heavy, hungry. The alien woman gasped in fear and tried to crawl backward. No, they found us. Ethan swallowed hard. Who found us? She pointed with a trembling hand toward a dark shape moving inside the fog. Something tall, something heavy, something slowly walking toward them. Ethan stepped forward, squinting, but the fog only showed a long shadow and glowing red eyes. The alien woman grabbed Ethan's wrist again. Her voice trembled as she whispered, Help, please. I beg you, save my daughter. Another growl. Closer this time. Much closer. Ethan knew he had only two choices. Run, or help this unknown creature who was begging him. And even though he didn't understand anything, why she needed help, what danger was coming, why she had said those strange words, he couldn't leave her. He lifted her carefully. She was light. Too light. Her body shook with weakness and fear. They moved away from the shadow, deeper into the fog. Ethan kept looking back, and each time he looked, the shadows seemed closer, bigger, louder. Another roar shook the air. The ground trembled under his feet. The alien woman gasped. They are coming, the devourers. They will eat everything. We must hurry. Ethan didn't know what a devourer was, but the name alone was enough to make his blood run cold. They ran, or rather, Ethan ran while carrying her in his arms. Her silver skin glowed faintly against his chest, guiding him through the fog. The trees around them began shaking. Branches snapped. Something enormous was pushing through them. Ethan tripped on a vine but managed to keep his balance. He breathed hard. The alien woman clutched his shirt. Then, the sound came again, a roar so loud it rattled Ethan's bones. He turned. A massive shape burst through the fog, tall as a house, covered in spiked armor. Its red eyes burned like fire. Its jaw was wide, full of razor-sharp teeth. It locked onto Ethan, and it charged. Ethan tightened his hold on the alien woman and ran, the monster thundering behind him. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know who this woman was. He didn't know why she had asked him that strange, impossible question. All he knew was one thing. If he stopped running, they both would die. And if you are still listening, gently consider subscribing to this channel, so you don't miss what happens next. Because the real story is only beginning. Ethan did not dare look back again. The creature's footsteps were shaking the ground behind him, each one heavier than the last. Branches snapped like bones. The blue fog twisted around them like frightened ghosts fleeing the monster. The alien woman in his arms breathed weakly, her silver skin flickering as if her light was fading. "Please, faster," she whispered. Her voice was thin, almost disappearing into the fog. Ethan tried. He pushed his legs harder, running through the uneven ground, dodging fallen trees and glowing plants. But then, he heard the sound again. Not a roar this time, but a deep sniffing. The creature was smelling for them. Its breath was so loud it felt like a hurricane behind him. Ethan ducked behind a massive tree trunk, trying to hide. He pressed his back to the bark and held the alien woman close. She clutched his shirt, shaking uncontrollably. The sniffing got louder. Closer. Too close. Ethan looked at the woman. "What is that thing?" he whispered. Her lips trembled. "Devourer, hunter of all life, it will not stop. It never stops." Ethan peeked around the tree. The fog thinned just enough for him to see the monster's silhouette. It was enormous. Thick armored plates covered its body. Its jaws were wet with saliva, dripping onto the ground and burning holes into the soil. Acid. Its breath was acid. A drop hit the tree Ethan leaned against. The bark sizzled and smoked. Ethan held his breath. If the creature came even one step closer, they would both melt alive. The devourer paused. Its glowing red eyes scanned the trees. The fog swirled around it like it feared touching its body. Ethan's heart pounded so hard he feared the monster could hear it. The alien woman clung to him. Her voice cracked. "They smell fear. They taste fear. Please, human, please stay still." And then, the creature roared and charged in the opposite direction. A false scent, perhaps. The ground thundered as it disappeared into the fog. Ethan exhaled, slowly, carefully. He felt his legs shaking, but he forced himself to move. He looked at the alien woman. "We need shelter. Now." She nodded weakly. "There's a place, a safe place, but we must reach it before I lose more energy." He carried her through the darkness, following her directions, stepping over glowing roots and strange floating spores. After several minutes, they reached a hollow rocky ridge. Inside, the fog was thinner, almost gone. The air felt warm, humming with some kind of power. Ethan set her down gently. She leaned against the wall, her glowing eyes dim. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved my life." Ethan shook his head. "I only ran. Anyone would have done that." She looked at him, almost sad. "No, humans do not run toward danger for strangers, but you did." Ethan ignored the compliment and focused. "Listen, I need answers. Right now. Why was that thing hunting you? And why did you ask me that strange question?" The alien woman closed her eyes in pain. Her body flickered again, light fading. "My name is Lyra," she whispered. "I'm the last mother of my kind." Ethan frowned. "The last?" Lyra nodded, tears collecting at the corners of her glowing eyes. "Devourers killed most of my people. The rest died because our generation cycle is breaking. We cannot survive anymore. Our energy is collapsing." Ethan swallowed. "I don't understand." Lyra lifted a trembling hand and pointed to the glowing lines on her skin. "These marks are our life power. They pass from mother to child for thousands of years. But now, the energy is emptying, fading. My daughter, Ceres, she is the last young one. She carries the remaining life of our entire species." Her breath hitched, but she cannot hold it alone. She needs a mate, a compatible species, or her energy will overload. She will die, and with her, our whole race will vanish. Ethan stayed, shocked. That's why you asked me. Lyra nodded, tears falling. Yes, but not for breeding like animals. You misunderstand. She placed a hand on her chest. Our mating is not physical. It is energy fusion, a bond of light, a connection between life forces. You would not lose your identity. You would not be harmed. Ethan remained silent, unsure. Lyra continued softly. We tried to bond with other races before, but all failed. Their energy clashed with ours. Only humans, only your kind, share the same core frequency. Ethan blinked. How do you know that? Lyra looked at him with deep sadness. Because humans came here once, long ago, before your species forgot. They helped us, saved us, shared their life force. But then, they left. And now, the Devourers have returned, stronger. Ethan tried to process her words. Humans? On this planet? Long ago? It made no sense. And yet, everything in this place felt ancient, forgotten. He knelt beside Lyra. Where is your daughter now? Lyra's breath caught. She is hiding, waiting, alone. She is strong, but she cannot hold her power for long. A soft rumble echoed through the fog outside the ridge. Ethan stiffened. Lyra's eyes widened with fear. They are searching, the Devourers. They want her power. They want to consume it. The rumble grew louder. Closer. Ethan looked toward the entrance. A shadow passed by, large, slow, sniffing. Lyra's hands trembled violently. If Ceres dies, my species dies. If I die, she will lose control. She will explode with energy. The whole forest will burn. Ethan felt his throat tighten. A soft whisper echoed through the fog. A voice. A girl's voice. Mother! Lyra gasped. Ceres. Ethan turned and saw a young alien girl stepping out of the fog, glowing brighter than any star he had ever seen, her eyes full of fear. And behind her, another devourer rising from the mist. Slow, hungry, silent. Ethan's blood turned to ice. The monster lunged toward the girl, and the ground shook as everything fell into chaos. Ceres stood frozen in the blue fog, her small silver feet trembling on the ground, her glowing eyes wide with fear. The devourer behind her moved like a nightmare rising from the earth, its massive claws digging into the soil, its chest pulsing with burning red veins, its mouth dripping poison that sizzled wherever it fell. Ethan did not think. He ran. Ceres, move, he shouted, his voice shaking. The alien girl looked at him, confused, scared, like a child waking in a world that wanted to eat her alive. The devourer lunged. Ethan dove forward, grabbed Ceres by the arm, and pulled her aside just as the monster's jaws snapped shut where she had been standing. The sound was deafening, teeth slamming like giant blades. Ceres gasped, her silver hair flaring with bright energy. Mother, Mother, I'm sorry. I couldn't hide anymore. I heard you calling. Lyra cried out, reaching toward her daughter. Ceres, no. You must not use your power like that. Your body is unstable. Her warning came too late. Ceres' skin brightened, then flickered, then exploded in a wave of purple light. The blast threw Ethan backward, his body rolling across the ground. He shielded his eyes as a dome of glowing energy surrounded the girl, pushing the devourer back several steps. But then, Ceres collapsed to her knees, panting, glowing too brightly. Ethan stumbled to his feet. Hey, are you okay? She looked at him with trembling eyes. I can't hold it. The power is too heavy, too loud. Energy crackled around her body like lightning. Lyra crawled toward her, voice breaking. Ceres, stop. Stop before you burn yourself. But Ceres shook her head desperately. I can't stop it. Mother, it hurts. It hurts so much. Her hands clutching her chest, she screamed, and the ground split with a flash of purple energy. Ethan staggered. What is happening? Lyra turned to him with desperate eyes. She is overloaded. High energy is collapsing. She needs a stabilizing bond or she will explode. Ethan's heart pounded. Okay, what do we do? Before Lyra could answer, The devourer roared and charged again. Its claws scraped against the rocky floor, sparks shooting everywhere. Its eyes locked on Ceres, drawn to the unstable energy surging inside her. Ethan grabbed a broken branch from the ground, though it felt useless. "Come on, over here," he yelled, trying to distract the beast. The devourer turned toward him, its breath burning the air. Ethan stepped back slowly. He knew one thing. If that monster reached Ceres again, she wouldn't survive. But the creature did something unexpected. It stopped. It sniffed the air. Then it turned toward Lyra. Ceres let out a terrified cry, reaching for her mother. "Mother, no!" The devourer charged toward Lyra with full force. Ethan's breath caught. No, and no. He ran, not thinking, not planning, just pure instinct. The devourer opened its jaws, rows of teeth dripping acid, aimed right at Lyra. Ethan leaped forward, grabbing her shoulder and yanking her aside. The monster's claws scraped the ground inches from her body, but the impact shook the ridge so violently that the stone walls cracked. Dust rained from above. The ground trembled like it might collapse at any moment. Ceres crawled toward them, crying, "Mother, I'm scared. Please help, please." Her voice broke apart with fear and pain. Her glowing skin flickered dangerously, bright, then dim, then bright again. Ethan knelt beside her. "It's okay. I'm here. You're safe." But she shook her head violently. No, I'm not. I'm breaking inside. I can feel it. My chest, my mind, everything is burning." Ethan touched her shoulder gently. "Just breathe. Slow. Look at me." Ceres stared at him. Her purple eyes shook. And then something strange happened. The glow around her body shifted, like a pulse, and Ethan felt it. A whisper in his mind. A soft echo. Her voice, inside his head. "Human, you have light too." Ethan froze. What was that? Ceres blinked in confusion, as if she didn't understand it herself. Lyra dragged herself forward. "She touched your energy. She sensed it." "Ethan, listen to me carefully. She is choosing you. She wants to bond with you. Her body is calling for your energy because you are compatible." Ethan stayed at Ceres, a small trembling girl holding a dying son inside her chest. "But I don't even know what that means." Lyra grabbed his arm. "Her bond will not hurt you. It is not physical. It is pure energy. Your life force mixing with hers to balance her power. Without it, she will die. Right now. Tonight." Ethan looked at Ceres again. Her hands were glowing so bright her fingers were almost transparent. Her breathing was fast and painful. Her eyes kept losing focus. "No, please," she whispered. I don't want to disappear." Ethan's chest tightened painfully. Behind them, the devourer growled again. Its red eyes glowed inside the fog, watching, stalking, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Lyra looked at Ethan with trembling desperation. "Please, human. Ethan, she is my only child, the last hope of my species. If she dies, thousands of years of life will die with her." Ethan clenched his fists. He had no ship, no map, no way home. He was one man on a dying planet surrounded by monsters. But in front of him was a mother begging for her child's life, and a girl shaking in fear of her own power. He took a slow breath and nodded. "Tell me what to do." Ceres stared at him, her eyes widening with shock and hope, just as the devourer leaped from the fog with a roar that split the sky. The devourer flew through the fog like a meteor of bones and teeth. Ceres screamed as the monster's shadow swallowed the ground. Ethan grabbed her and rolled aside, the beast crashing exactly where they had been standing a second ago. The impact shook the entire ridge. Rocks split, dust exploded, and glowing plants snapped like twigs. Ethan pulled Ceres behind a fallen stone slab. She trembled violently, her light flickering like a dying candle. The devourer lifted its head, sniffing, searching, its jaws dripping acid that melted everything it touched. Lyra crawled toward them, gasping for breath. "Ethan, you must do it now. Bond with her now, or the devourer will kill us all." Ceres shook her head, tears falling. "No, mother, not here. Not while he's in danger, please. Ethan grabbed her shoulders gently. If this bond will save you, then tell me how. Tell me what to do. Ceres stared at him, her glowing eyes full of fear and something else. Hope. Touch my hands, she whispered. Just hold them, and don't let go. Whatever happens, don't let go. Ethan nodded and took her hands. Her skin was warm, too warm, like touching a star trapped inside flesh. Her fingers curled around his. Lyra watched, trembling. Close your eyes, Ethan. Open your mind. Let her draw energy from your life pulse. Ethan tried, but at that exact moment, the devourer roared and charged again. The force of its footsteps made the ground vibrate under Ethan's knees. Ceres panicked. No, I can't focus. It's too close. It's coming. Her energy spiked wildly, the purple glow bursting like lightning around them. Sparks flew off her skin. Ethan felt heat burning his palms, but he did not let go. Ceres, listen to me, he shouted. You're okay. Look at me. Not at the monster. Look at me. Ceres looked into his eyes, and the energy around her paused, just for a heartbeat. But the devourer saw the flash. It turned, its red eyes widening with hunger, and sprinted toward them. Lyra screamed, Ethan, move. Ethan grabbed Ceres and leaped behind a boulder as the creature slammed into it, smashing the entire rock into dust. The monster roared, furious. It swung its tail like a hammer, the shockwave pushing Ethan and Ceres across the ground. Ceres hit a tree trunk, her glow flickering dangerously. Ethan gasped. Ceres, stay with me. She clutched her chest, voice cracking. It hurts so much. Ethan, I'm scared. The devourer's heavy steps shook the earth again. Lyra crawled between them, her silver skin dimming. Ethan, the bond. Now, she cannot hold on. You must do it, or she will die. Ethan nodded. Ceres, give me your hands. She placed her trembling hands into his again. Their fingers locked tightly. Ceres closed her eyes. Ethan took a breath and shut his. And then, a spark, a pulse, a cold wave washing through his body, followed by warmth. Intense warmth, like something was slowly reaching into his chest. Ceres whispered, her voice trembling inside his mind. Please, trust me. Ethan whispered back without speaking. I do. And then the bond ignited. Light exploded around them, not outward, but inward, pulling their energies together until Ethan felt himself falling through darkness. He saw flashes, not memories, but feelings. Ceres's loneliness, her fear of dying, her longing to be seen, her hope for a future that might never come. Ethan's heartbeat synced with hers. Their breaths synced. Their energy pulsed in rhythm. But then, a violent shake ripped them apart. Ethan's eyes flew open. The devourer had grabbed Lyra. Its razor claws held her pinned to the rocky ground. Acid dripped from its jaws onto her shoulder. Her silver skin sizzled and burned. She screamed in agony. Mother! Ceres cried, her glow bursting dangerously bright again. The devourer lifted Lyra toward its mouth. Ethan stood up, grabbing Ceres's arm. Ceres, we have to move. Now! But Ceres couldn't move. She stared at the creature, eyes full of horror, energy crackling wildly. No, don't kill her. Don't kill my mother. Her body began glowing too brightly, too fast, too unstable. Lyra screamed again, weaker this time. Ceres, stop. Don't burn yourself, please. Ethan grabbed Ceres's shoulders. Look at me. Listen to me. Ceres shook violently. I can't, Ethan. I can't stop it. I'm losing control. Then take my energy, Ceres. All of it if you need to. She stared at him in shock. But you'll. I don't care. Take it. Ceres's eyes widened. Her hands flew to his chest, and she unleashed the bond with full force. Light erupted between them. Ethan gritted his teeth as his strength drained rapidly, flowing into her. The world spun. Cold. Hot. Cold again. He felt dizzy, then numb, then empty. But Ceres stood. Her glow steadied. Her breathing slowed. Her energy stabilized. Her body, once flickering, now shined like a star reborn. She lifted her head. Her eyes burned bright purple, and when she spoke, the entire forest seemed to tremble. Let her go. The devourer turned its massive head toward her. Its growl rumbled like thunder. Ceres stepped forward, light swirling around her feet. The air vibrated. The trees bent. The fog parted. Ethan could barely stand. His vision blurred, but he watched, because something impossible was happening. Ceres was no longer weak, no longer dying. She was glowing with a power too strong for the devourer to ignore. The monster dropped Lyra to the ground and roared at Ceres. Ceres raised a hand, and the air around her boiled with purple flames. The devourer lunged. Ethan whispered, barely able to breathe. Ceres. She whispered back without turning. I won't let it hurt anyone again. And then she unleashed everything. Ceres raised her hand, and the air around her cracked with purple light. The devourer did not slow. It lunged at her with a roar that shook the entire ridge, its massive jaws opening wide enough to swallow her whole. But Ceres did not move. She didn't even blink. The purple flames around her twisted into a spiraling storm, a violent cyclone of energy that swallowed her small frame. Ethan, barely standing, felt the pressure of a power like a giant hand pushing him back. He shielded his eyes, struggling to breathe as the light intensified. The devourer's claws slashed toward Ceres. And then, the world exploded in silence. A shockwave of pure violet light burst outward. Trees snapped in half. Stones shattered into dust. Fog evaporated instantly, as if fleeing from her. The devourer was thrown back violently, its body smashing into the rocky cliff, cracking it open. The monster roared in pain, shaking its armored head. Ceres stood in the center of the destruction, glowing like a living star, her silver hair floating as if underwater. She looked older, stronger, terrifying. Her voice echoed, led with strange harmonics. You will not hurt my mother. The devourer charged again, but slower this time. Wounded, blinded by her power, Ceres raised both hands. A pulse of energy shot out. It hit the monster square in the chest. A sharp, deafening crack followed. The devourer stumbled. Its armored plate split open. Glowing veins burst. For the first time, the creature hesitated. Ceres stepped toward it, trembling with rage. You hunted us, killed my people, burned our homes. Her glow brightened. Hey. The devourer roared and swiped at her, but Ceres disappeared in a flash, reappeared behind it. Her palm touched the back of its neck. A surge of light erupted. The monster screamed, collapsing to one knee. Ethan could barely understand what he was seeing. He whispered, weakly, Ceres, stop, you'll burn yourself. But she didn't hear him. Her fury drowned everything. She lifted her hand again. Light gathered in her palm, swirling like a tiny supernova. The devourer struggled to rise, but its strength faltered. Ceres prepared to strike the final blow, when a sudden sound cut through the chaos. A soft, pained voice. Ceres, my daughter. Ceres froze. Her glow flickered. She turned. Lyra was lying on the ground, her silver skin torn and burned, her breathing shallow. But her eyes still shined with gentle strength. Ceres' energy dimmed instantly. Her fury melted into fear. Mother! She ran to Lyra, kneeling beside her. The devourer, half dead, struggled to move but collapsed again, defeated for now. Ceres touched her mother's face, tears falling, but baiting into steam before reaching her cheeks. Mother, are you hurt? Please tell me you're okay. Lyra smiled weakly. I am alive, because of you. Ceres shook her head. No, because of Ethan. I couldn't have done anything without him. Her trembling eyes turned toward Ethan. He was leaning against a cracked stone pillar, breath shaking, body weak from the bond. His vision blurred, but he forced himself to remain upright. Ceres rushed to him. Ethan, don't move, your energy. I took too much. Ethan managed a tired smile. I'm fine, mostly. Just, don't make me run again. Ceres' expression softened. For the first time, she looked truly calm. But the ground suddenly trembled again. A deep rumble, not from the wounded devourer, but from below. Ethan looked around, confused. What now? Lyra's eyes widened with fear. Oh no, the ancient chambers, they are reacting to Ceres's power. A crack tore through the ridge. Stones fell. A purple beam shot into the sky. Ceres stepped back, confused and frightened. What's happening? What did I do? Lyra struggled to sit up. Your energy woke the ancient Bond Temple, the place where our people once joined with humans, before our world fell. The ground split further. A circular platform rose from beneath the earth, glowing with ancient symbols, half broken but still alive. Ethan staggered toward it, mesmerized. What is this place? Lyra looked at him, her voice trembling. Proof that humans were here long ago. Proof that your kind saved us once before. And now, fate has brought you here again. Ceres approached the platform. Her glow pulsed in sync with the ancient symbols, as if answering a forgotten call. She touched the surface, and the entire chamber lit up. A hologram burst from the platform, projecting figures of ancient humans standing beside Lyra's ancestors, forming bonds of light. They were not warriors. They were guardians. Ceres whispered. So it's true. We were connected. Ethan stayed in disbelief. This is impossible. Lyra shook her head softly. No, Ethan, this is destiny. But before they could understand anything further, a new roar echoed across the chamber. Not the wounded devourer. Something bigger, stronger, older. The fog outside shifted violently, drawn toward the chamber as if sucked by a vacuum. Ceres froze. Mother, no, tell me that's not. Lyra's face turned pale. The Devourer Prime. A monstrous shape towered in the distance, twice as large as the previous one, covered in thick armor, its eyes burning like molten lava. It stepped forward, each step a quake, each breath a storm. Ethan's throat dried. That thing is hunting us too. Lyra shook her head slowly. No, it is hunting her. Ceres trembled. Why? Why me? Lyra's voice cracked. Because you carry the last light of our people, and the Prime feeds on life force, especially the powerful ones. The Devourer Prime roared again, a roar that shattered trees, split stones, and made Ethan stumble backward. Ceres grabbed his hand tightly. Ethan, I'm scared. He squeezed her hand despite his weakened state. I'm still with you. The ground quaked as the Prime approached the chamber entrance. Lyra whispered with terror. It will kill all of us if we stay here. We must complete the bond fully, or Ceres cannot survive. Ethan swallowed hard. What do we have to do? Lyra pointed to the glowing platform. Both of you must enter the ancient circle, and let it join your energies completely. Only then will Ceres be strong enough to fight the Prime. Ceres stared at Ethan, eyes trembling. I don't want to force you. You've already given me so much. I don't want to take more. Ethan looked at the towering monster inching closer, each step a death sentence. Then he looked at Ceres, terrified, glowing, shaking between life and death. He took a deep breath. You are not forcing me. I'm choosing this. Ceres' eyes widened, shimmering. Ethan. He held her hand. Let's finish what we started. The Prime roared, a roar that shook the chamber and shattered the outer pillars. Ceres and Ethan stepped onto the glowing platform together. The ancient symbols flared to life, and the bond began. The moment Ethan and Ceres stepped onto the ancient platform, the ground hummed beneath their feet. Symbols carved thousands of years ago flickered to life. Lines of golden light racing across the stone, like a heart beginning to beat after ages of silence. Ceres' hand in Ethan's trembled violently, but she did not let go. Her glow pulsed in rhythm with the symbols, as if the platform recognized her, as if it had been waiting. Ethan felt a cold rush crawl up his spine, then a sudden warmth spreading through his chest. He gasped. What's happening? Ceres looked at him with trembling eyes. The bond is starting, the real one this time. Her voice echoed, not loudly, but layered, as if two versions of her were speaking together. Ethan squeezed her hand tighter. The chamber lights ignited, beams of ancient energy rising like pillars around them, forming a circle of pure shimmering light. Outside, the Devourer Prime roared again. This time the roar did not echo. It vibrated, shaking the entire temple like an earthquake. The pillars of light shivered. Ethan turned his head toward the entrance. Through the blinding glow, he could see the Prime's massive silhouette. Its claws dug into the stone as it pulled itself closer. Ceres stepped closer to Ethan. "Don't look at it. Look at me." Ethan did. Her face glowed gently now, no longer chaotic, no longer flickering out of control. Her body radiated steady, warm waves of energy that eased the weight in his chest. But underneath the calm glow, he sensed fear, deep fear. Ceres whispered, "Ethan, I want to ask something, but I'm afraid." Ethan tightened his grip. "What is it? Will you stay with me until the bond completes? No matter what you see, no matter how strange it gets." He breathed slowly. "I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere." She closed her eyes and exhaled. "Then, open your mind." The platform flared. A force yanked Ethan forward. Not physically, but mentally. His consciousness slid into a deep tunnel of light. Suddenly, he wasn't standing anymore. He was floating, weightless, timeless, surrounded by swirling waves of violet and gold. He felt Ceres beside him. Not her body, but her presence. Warm and scared and hopeful. Her voice echoed gently inside his mind. "Let me in, Ethan." He let go of fear. How energy reached his. A soft touch, like fingers brushing his heart. Then the memories began. Not his. Hers. He saw a planet of shining silver forests. Her people glowing with peaceful light. Their lives intertwined like one large family. He saw her as a small child, running through luminous gardens, laughing with joy that glowed in her hair. Then, the sky turned dark. Shadows tore across the land. Devourers descended like storms. Cities of light extinguished one by one. Ceres' home burned. Her father died in front of her. Her mother carried her for miles through the ruined valleys. Ceres' soft voice trembled inside Ethan's mind. "We ran and ran, but they always found us." The darkness swallowed entire worlds. And Ceres lost everything. Ethan's chest tightened painfully. She whispered, "I was so afraid of dying alone, so afraid of not being chosen, afraid that no one would ever hold my hands for the bond, afraid I would disappear and no one would remember me." Ethan reached out inside the glowing void. He touched her presence gently. "You're not alone anymore." How energy trembled, shaking like a cry. Then, her memories faded, and Ethan was pulled back into his body. Violently, he gasped, stumbling. Ceres caught him, holding his arms tightly. Her eyes shimmered with tears of light. "You saw everything." "Yeah, I did." A soft rumble shook the chamber again. A warning. The Devourer Prime was closer, much closer. Ceres stepped toward the platform center. The light pillars swirled around her, wrapping her in a cocoon of violet and gold. She reached both hands toward Ethan. "Ethan, the bond must finish now. If we stop halfway, it will destroy us both." Ethan nodded slowly. "I understand." But he hesitated. "Will it hurt?" Ceres bit her lip. "Yes, for me, but I'll endure it." "What about me?" "You will feel only a little pain, then warmth." He took her hands again. "Okay, do it." Ceres breathed in. Energy surged, and suddenly, pure light erupted between them. Not gentle this time, not warm, violent. A flood of power slammed into Ethan's chest like a wave of fire. He gasped, falling to his knees. Ceres knelt with him, gripping his hands harder. I'm sorry. I have to take more. Please stay with me, Ethan. Please." He clenched his teeth. "I'm not letting go." Their energies twisted, spiraled, merged. Two lights becoming one. Ethan felt his heartbeat sync with hers perfectly. He felt her breath, her emotions, her pain. He felt overwhelming heat, like standing inside a star. But he endured it. Ceres screamed. Her globe buzzed upward like a pillar of lightning. Her silver skin shone brightly as ancient patterns formed across her arms and face. Symbols of her people. The chamber roared to life. Walls lit up. Statues shook. The entire temple hummed like a giant engine awakening after ages of sleep. Ethan forced his eyes open through the pain. "Ceres, look at me. Finish it." She cried out, tears turning into drops of light. "Ethan, you're giving me too much. Stop, please." But he didn't stop. "Take what you need. Finish it." The bond peaked. Light surged through their bodies in a final blast, so bright it erased all shadows inside the chamber. For a moment, everything went silent. Still, then the light faded. Ethan collapsed forward, but Ceres caught him. He lay in her arms, exhausted, breathing heavily, but alive. Ceres looked at him, and for the first time, her glow was steady, calm, balanced. She whispered, voice full of awe, "Ethan, you completed the bond fully. You gave me enough energy to survive, to fight, to live." Her hands trembled as she brushed his hair back. "You saved me." But their moment shattered instantly, as an enormous claw smashed into the edge of the chamber. Stone cracked. Pillars fell. The Devourer Prime's massive head pushed through the opening, its eyes blazing with blood-red fire. It roared, a roar strong enough to make the platform shake. Ceres stood, sliding Ethan gently behind her. Her hair flared like silver fire. Her eyes burned bright violet. For the first time, she didn't look weak, or frightened, or lost. She looked like a warrior born, and she whispered, a promise that made the entire temple pulse with fear. "This time, I will not run." The Devourer Prime stepped inside the chamber, ready to kill. Ceres stepped forward to face it, ready to fight. And Ethan, breathing slowly but alive, whispered to himself, "Don't die. Not now. Not after everything." As the monster roared, and the final battle began, the Devourer Prime stepped fully into the ancient chamber, its enormous claws digging deep into the stone floor. Its molten red eyes locked onto Ceres like a predator spotting the brightest flame in the dark. Ceres stood between Ethan and the monster, her silver hair glowing with new power. Her chest rose and fell slowly, calmly, as if she had finally become what she was always meant to be. Ethan, barely able to stand, leaned against a cracked pillar. He whispered, "Ceres, be careful." She didn't turn, but he saw her hand twitch. A small, silent answer. "Yes." The Devourer Prime roared, a sound so powerful that cracks raced across the chamber walls. Ancient statues shattered. The platform shook. Ceres didn't flinch. Her glow intensified. Symbols etched onto her skin flared with violet fire, spreading across her arms, her neck, her face. She raised one hand, and the air around her trembled. The Prime lunged. Ceres moved. She flew upward with a burst of energy, a streak of purple light slicing through the air. The Devourer Prime snapped its massive jaws, but she vanished in a flash. Reappearing behind it, she slammed her glowing palm into its armored back. A shockwave exploded outward. Stone crumbled. Dust filled the chamber. The Devourer Prime staggered, but only for a moment. It spun, tail whipping through the air like a giant blade. Ceres blocked it with a force shield of light, but the impact sent her crashing into a pillar, shattering it into glowing fragments. Ethan shouted, voice cracking, "Ceres!" She rose from the rubble, shaking, but alive. The glow in her eyes burned hotter. The Prime lowered its head and charged again, its claws slicing deep grooves into the stone floor. Ceres extended both arms this time. Her energy surged, not wild like before, but controlled, focused. She unleashed a beam of pure violet power. It hit the monster square in the chest. The Prime roared in agony. Part of its armor melted, exposing raw, burning flesh underneath. But that only enraged it further. It slammed its massive claws into the ground, and the entire temple collapsed inward. The platform split in half. Pillars toppled. Rocks fell. Ethan lost his balance and fell to his knees, coughing through the dust. "Ceres," he called out again. Through the swirling debris, he saw her rise, floating now, surrounded by a vortex of shimmering light. Her voice echoed through the chamber. You destroyed our homes, killed our families, stole everything from us. The Prime roared at her, blood-red veins glowing across its body. Ceres lifted both hands toward it. And now, I take everything back. She flew forward, a comet of living light. The Prime swung a claw the size of a tree trunk. Ceres dodged, twisting midair, leaving trails of violet energy behind her. She struck its jaw. A burst of light cracked its teeth. She struck its chest. Another shockwave tore flesh and armor apart. The Prime howled in fury, slamming its tail into the ground. The temple's ancient ceiling began to collapse. A giant stone slab fell toward Ethan. But Ceres noticed. She flickered in front of him instantly, catching the slab mid-air with a single outstretched hand. High small frame shook under the weight, but she held it. She gently lowered it aside. Ethan stayed at her, breathless. You protected me, even while fighting that monster. She looked down at him, voice soft, nearly breaking. You gave me strength. I won't let anything take you from me. But she had lowered her guard. The Devourer Prime struck. A massive claw slammed into Ceres' side, sending her flying across the chamber. She crashed into ancient stone and crumpled to the ground. No! Ethan screamed. He forced himself to stand, stumbling toward her. His legs shook violently, his body still weak from the bond. Ceres tried to rise, but the blow had been brutal. Her glow flickered dangerously. Her breath came in painful gasps. Ethan reached her, kneeling beside her. Ceres, stay with me. Please, stay awake. She looked up weakly, tears glowing in her eyes. I can't hold the energy much longer. Ethan, I'm sorry. He grabbed her shoulders. Don't say that. Don't you dare say that. She shook her head. I'm not strong enough to kill it. Yes, you are. You proved it. You fought it head on. No. Her voice cracked. The Prime consumed the light of thousands. Its power is older than me, stronger. The Prime slowly advanced toward them, its breath molten and thick, its eyes fixed on Ceres like she was the brightest flame left. Ethan looked at the monster, then back at Ceres, and something inside him snapped. He stood, wobbling, bleeding, barely breathing, but he stood between Ceres and the Prime. Ceres reached for him weakly. Ethan, don't move. He ignored her. He faced the monster with nothing but empty hands and a dying body. Come on, he said through clenched teeth. If you want her, you go through me. The chamber fell silent. Even the Prime paused, confused by the audacity of a fragile human standing against it. Ceres cried softly. Ethan, why? He didn't look back. Because humans don't run. Not when someone they care about is in danger. The Prime roared, furious at the challenge. It charged at him. Ceres screamed. Ethan! Ethan braced for the impact. But just before the Prime reached him, something awakened. A pulse of light burst from Ethan's chest. Ceres gasped. Lyra, watching from the corner, gasped too. The symbols engraved in the platform glowed again, responding to Ethan, responding to the bond still alive inside him. Ceres' energy had changed him, marked him, filled him. He wasn't human only anymore. He glowed, dim at first, then brighter, purple light flowing through his veins. Ceres' voice trembled. Ethan, you have my energy. How? He didn't know. He didn't care. He stepped forward, light spreading across his arms. The Prime roared again, sensing a new threat. Ceres, fueled by hope, pushed herself up. She placed her hand over Ethan's back, and their energies connected instantly. Two lights merging, two hearts beating together. Ethan whispered, Let's finish this. Ceres nodded, a fierce smile forming on her lips. Yes. They turned toward the Prime, the monster of monsters, the devourer of worlds. Ceres lifted her hand. Ethan lifted his. Their energies spiraled together, forming a massive vortex of violet and gold. The Prime charged, but too late. Ethan and Ceres unleashed the combined blast, a beam so bright, so powerful, it tore through the Prime's armor as if it were paper. The monster let out a final deafening roar, then disintegrated into ash and light. Silence. Pure silence filled the chamber. Ethan collapsed, but Ceres caught him gently. He looked up at her, exhausted. You did it. Ceres, you saved everyone. She shook her head, smiling softly. No, we did it. Her glow softened. She lowered her forehead to his and whispered, You are part of my light now, Ethan, forever. Outside, the fog cleared. The air warmed. The devourer's shadows faded. Their species was safe again. Her mother was safe. The world breathed again. Ethan leaned into Ceres' arms, barely conscious. Ceres, what happens now? She smiled, tears falling gently. Now, a new beginning. The chamber lights dimmed. The storm was over. The ancient bond was complete, and a human and an alien stood together, at the start of something neither of them had ever imagined.